Showtime.
Well, hello there, and welcome to Talk Leadership with Cedrick. You know, everybody needs a little TLC. Welcome back today. It's not Monday, it's Tuesday. I know you're thinking, wait a minute, am I still on Monday? No, this is Tuesday, and we have a new guest tonight. I'm going to introduce her just a little bit. But, you know, Talk Leadership with Cedrick is where we focus on leadership and personal growth with business leaders, educators, and local thought leaders. Our goal is to introduce our audience to leaders who are making an impact with innovative ideas. Our guiding leadership principle is the law of contribution, which says growing yourself enables you to grow others. You can't give what you don't have. So first you must grow yourself in order to help grow others. We believe that outstanding leaders like yourself will help others, will help us help others. So tonight we have another dynamic leader. And you know, every show I like to do a proper introduction of our guest. So let me introduce this dynamic leader, Dr. Nicole Rankine. Let me read her bio. It is powerhouse. Listen to this. Dr. Nicole Rankine is an adjunct professor, author, entrepreneur, empowerment speaker, teacher, and coach. Dr. Rankine is affectionately known as Dr. Nick. She is a certified teacher, speaker, and coach with the John Maxwell team. She is also the founder of the Cole Academy of Personal Growth, a professional development company that is devoted to helping students and the leaders that support them. By teaching leadership development, personal growth, and communication principles, Dr. Nick is devoted to helping leaders effectively lead others, but most importantly, lead themselves. Dr. Nick travels internationally in places like Costa Rica, Kenya, South Africa, China, and of course, you know, she'll dabble in the United States as well, devoting her life to equip, inspire, and empower both youth and experienced leaders. She also serves as an adjunct college professor, teaching our future public health professionals. She is the author of Adulting in Your Purpose, the Journal. This is a journal designed for millennials. Listen up, millennials. This is a journal designed for millennial leaders to help with their personal growth and professional development. She is also the founder of Healthy Young People Excel, Inc., a nonprofit devoted to helping youth develop their soft skills. Dr. Nick has spent over 20 years providing training for government agencies, schools, colleges, and universities, and small businesses. Now, here's the power. Watch this. She holds a PhD and a master's degree in public health and a master's degree and a bachelor's degree in biology. So she is smart. You know, all right. She is a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated and an active member in her church ministry. So help me welcome Dr. Nicole Rankine to the show.
Welcome. Thank you. Hello, good evening, everyone. And thank you, Cedrick, for having me on TLC. I'm so excited to be with you this evening. Thank you for that introduction.
Awesome. Well, we're excited to have you here as well. And Dr. Nicole is special for a lot of different reasons, but we're going to talk about one of those major reasons here in just a little bit. But hey, Dr. Nick, tell our audience about your career path. What got you started and how did you get to where you are today?
Great question, because it was a journey, and I guess I have two path career and how I ended up to where I am now. I started as a young child. My family, I have come from a family of healthcare practitioners. So that's really all I knew. I was engrossed in healthcare and just inquisitive. I'm very analytical. So I always wanted to say I wanted to be a doctor, right? So my thing is I wanted to be a doctor and I wanted to help people. And that's kind of the path, the career path that I went down. And I started with this professional career. I had dreams of working at the premier public health institute of the world. And I worked hard to get there. I remember, but as a little child, I had some issues. I had learning issues with learning and reading comprehension when I was younger. So I was always labeled. I was put in remedial classes, and I was, dealt with a lot of the issues and the bullying and self-esteem issues that come with a child who has kind of learning comprehension problems and learning issues. So fast forward to my freshman year in college, I struggled really bad. But I always knew I had a dream. I always knew that I wanted to help people. It's funny when you dream big, but then your circumstances sometimes don't validate that. So how do you build that gap? So my freshman year, I struggled, and I went to my advisor that year. And literally I sat down there and I was like, I don't know what I need to do, but I know I want to be a doctor. I want to succeed. I want to help people, but I am struggling. And that advisor looked me in the eye and told me, well, you're never going to make it as a doctor. You might as well give up that dream and think about something else. So I was crushed. Wow. So here I am with a big dream, with a desire, and the person that was supposed to advise me and guide me and give me help told me that I wasn't good enough. So that, again, as a young person, that weighs on you. That weighs on your self-esteem. That weighs on your confidence level. And you begin to think, well, maybe I'm not enough. Maybe I am what they say I am. And so I struggled in that space for a while. And I grew up in the church, right? So that's always a good thing. When you're in the South, one thing you're going to do, you're going to go to church. So I had to remember, and I began to think about all the things that I was taught, that I was more than a conqueror, that I was the head and not the tail, that I could do all things through Christ to strengthen me. And I began to speak those things. And that following year, my sophomore year, I went and I got a new advisor. That old advisor got fired, thank God. And I sat down in my new advisor's chair, and she looked at me because she looked just like I did. When I looked into her, I saw myself. And she said, what is it that you want to do? I said, I want to be a doctor and I want to help people. And she looked back at me and she said, well, that's exactly what you're going to do. So we got together and we planned and we came up with ways that was conducive to my learning ability, and so I could be successful. And then I just knew at that point that I can do it. I love the quote that Les Brown says, that everybody's opinion of you does not have to be your reality. And I took heart for that. And when I got it in my mind that that's what I want to do, I took the ground running and I went full speed ahead to achieve those dreams. And everything I set out to accomplish, that is what I did. So that was my career path. I had the ability to work at several government agencies and as a research scientist, getting my degrees. I worked in academia over various colleges and became an adjunct college professor, obtained my PhD, worked as a microbiologist. So I had a successful career on the outside. I achieved the dream that I had. I was working where I wanted. I was making the money that I wanted. I was climbing that corporate ladder. But then a few years later, fast forward that 20 years, I got to a point where I asked myself, what am I doing? And I don't know if it was a midlife crisis or whatever you want to call it, but there was something in me that I knew that I wanted to do more. I wanted to have a greater impact. I wanted to help more people in a way that I wasn't doing as a microbiologist in a research lab. So I kind of got stuck, right? I kind of got in a place where, although on the outside, everybody saw success, but internally, I was deplenished. I didn't feel that I was doing my best. I didn't feel that I was truly using the gifts that I had. I didn't feel like I was truly maximizing my potential, and I was forced with a decision. So went into prayer and I'm like, okay, Lord, what is this about? What's going on here? What am I supposed to be doing? with my life? And a lot of times, you're supposed to ask that question, what do you want to do when you grow up? Well, here I am now in my late 30s asking that same question. What do I want to be when I grow up? And went into prayer, and he says, you have giftings that I need to take to the world. And when I heard that, I'm like, okay, well, what does that mean? Because I have this great 401k. I have this great job. I got this money that's coming in every 2 weeks, and I'm good. But then I had to make a decision. Do I want to be good, or do I want to be great? Do I want to stay in my comfort zone, or do I want to move past and truly maximize the gifts that God has given me to my full potential? And I was faced with that crossroad decision. And I had the opportunity to attend an event where I met Sherry Riley, and she was one of the keynote speakers there. And she spoke about living exponentially and reaching your potential and just truly maximizing your gifts. And I ran to her after that event. And I said, I don't know who you are, but I know I'm here for you. And I told her where I was. I told her where I stuck. And she actually introduced me to the John Maxwell team. And that's how I got to the John Maxwell team. I joined the John Maxwell team in 2015. And it was really a time of own personal development, because what I realized was I spent so much time on my career, on my professional career, that I did not take the time to invest in me, to find out who I was, to know my strengths, to know my weaknesses, to truly find out my giftings so I can truly carve out and create the life that I was desired to live. So during those 2 years, I worked on myself. I was listening to all the mentors and the coaches and growing and just filling myself up. And then I began to imagine. I began to think about the possibilities, right? Yeah. And it came to a crossroad that, I was at that point. Do I stay or do I go? And then I made a decision, as our mentor, Paul Martinelli says, I jumped and grew wings going down. And here I am, after all those years and doing what I love to do, helping people grow and building leaders and helping people reach their potential. So that's where we get Dr. Nick.
Wow. Well, that is just phenomenal. That's awesome. Yeah. So there's a lot of people that's online in the chat, and you guys keep the chat coming. That's awesome. So let me just summarize what she said, because it's important. I want to make sure that you get it, guys. Here's what she said. She says she struggled early on in life. And when she got to college, that struggle continued. And, when you're struggling like that, it starts to play on your belief system, your self-belief, what you think you can do. She went to the person who was supposed to be her advisor, her encourager, her motivator, her inspirator. And what did that person say? You're never going to be able to do it. You see what happens, folks? You can't listen to that foolishness, no matter where they sit. That person probably gave up on their dreams somewhere along the way, and then they're trying to discourage her. But she didn't give up. She could have just quit and walked away, but she didn't. She said, I'm coming back next year. And she did. And the Holy Spirit stepped in, removed that person, put in someone else that was going to give her power, help her believe in herself, and help her go to a whole nother level. And then that person gave her the advice, and then she started to change. And this new advisor said, yes, you can. And then she started believing it. And once you start believing it, folks, all of a sudden you get a PhD, you get a bachelor's degree, you get a master's degree, you get a PhD, and you get a couple of all of those, right? That's why we call her Dr. Nick. Don't get confused, right? So and then she said, after a long career, she started asking herself, what am I doing? Am I adulting in my purpose, if you will, right? And,
that's right. That's exactly
right. She started thinking about the possibilities. Her imagination started going. She was dreaming, folks. That's what it was. She was dreaming about what the future could hold for her. And then she did the ultimate. She jumped. She got rid of that security She jumped and building her wings on the way down, and look at where she is today. She's on TLC. She's on TLC with Cedrick.
That's right. I have reached it. Yes.
That's it, God. You can take me now.
That's it. Absolutely.
So that's an awesome story, Nicole. And I know you, and I didn't even know all of the details like that. So that's awesome. So hey, tell us, what is the Cole Academy of Personal Growth?
Yeah, the Cole Academy of Personal Growth is a professional development company that provides leadership development, personal growth, and communication skills. And how I came about that was I kind of reflected on my own journey, right? I reflected on the challenges that I faced and overcome. And I looked at the fact that, wait a minute, there are young people out there going through the same thing that I am going through and probably facing the same type of people who are telling them that they can't do it, who are not supporting their dreams, who are not giving them the push that they need to be successful. So I said, this is a problem. And, you know, as business owners, we know that we look for problems to solve. And having that awareness, I was able to look back over the things that I have done, even while I was in my professional career. I was, you know, I worked with a lot of school systems. I did a lot of career workshops and telling people how to get professionalized. And what I always remembered, whether I was in high schools or when I was in colleges or speaking to any type of young person, they weren't concerned about my career. They weren't concerned about how much money I made. They weren't really concerned about my career path. The questions that I received, and this is like 9 times out of 10, it was more so, how do you move forward when you're afraid? How do you overcome the limiting beliefs? How do you believe in yourself? How do you overcome when people tell you you can't do anything? And then that was like a light bulb in my mind to say, wait a minute. This is all about personal growth and development. This is not about an education and careers, and that's important. But what I realized is that your personal development is the key to your success in everything that you do. So here we have young people who are desiring information and strategies on how to develop their self-awareness, how to develop relationship skills, how to be able to overcome their limiting beliefs, and how to be able to face their fears and overcome their self-doubt. And I said, wait a minute. This is something that I want to tackle. This is a problem that I want to be able to have my mission and my life's dreams, because I was doing it anyway. I like I said, I grew up in the church, and I was always a youth leader in youth ministry. So I've always worked with youth, young adults, and college students. And it was just a part of me. It was a passion that I had. So when I thought about the possibilities of owning a business, that's where this came from. The Cole Academy of Personal Growth is all about helping people, specifically young people, with their personal growth and development. And I say that we also help leaders who support our young people, because what I realized, you know, as we know, say at the John Maxwell team, everything falls from leadership. Everything rises and falls with leadership. So I can't effectively go into schools and help young people develop their personal growth. Well, in the academic session, they call it social emotional learning. In the business sector, they call it soft skills. So whatever you want to call it, I can't effectively help them and then have the teachers not having their awareness and not being able to increase their social emotional learning. So that's how we have the broad spectrum of working with millennials and our next gen to help develop them, but then also working with the leaders that support them. So we're giving the whole, providing the training for a holistic, so our young people can truly be successful. They can truly run and go after their dreams, and they won't have to make some of the mistakes and face some of the challenges that I have faced in life. So that is how we have come with the Cole Academy of Personal Growth. And it has just been an amazing experience since development. And I'm just excited to just see where God is going to continue the journey.
So, and we're going to talk about that. But while we're right here, Nikki Parrish asks, "How do you believe in yourself?"
Great question. I would say that it takes time, and it's a daily habit that you have to do to fuel yourself with positivity, fuel yourself with the belief that you can. And whatever it is that you can or whatever you want, you have to fuel yourself daily. So every day I do personal development, I do spiritual development, I do affirmations, and I speak to myself. I talk to myself. You know, sometimes people say when you talk to yourself, you're crazy, but call me loco.
Yeah.
You know, I'm okay to talk to myself, to look into the mirror and say to myself that I am great, that I can accomplish things, that I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. And the more and more you speak to yourself, because as we say, I know Cedrick taught me this, and I teach this to my young people: what you think is what you feel, what you feel is what you say, and what you say is what you do. So you constantly pouring into your thought process to raise your level of awareness and belief of yourself. And I tell my young people that, you know, you can be successful if nobody else believes in you, but you would never be successful if you don't believe in yourself. So it's constantly, you have to fuel yourself constantly, every single day, fueling yourself with the positivity and the belief that you can.
Absolutely. And that was perfect. I have another question for you, and I promise we're gonna get back to Nicole Academy of Personal Growth, but these questions are coming in. I like this. How to overcome challenges and adversity is always a question I receive from educators.
Can you repeat the question? I'm having a hard time.
Okay, yeah. How to overcome challenges and adversity is always a question that person receives from educators.
Okay, so is that from the educator or from a student's perspective?
It sounds like it's coming from a student's perspective.
And again, I would go back to the belief system. I am, you know, of course, everybody, obviously I love education because I endured my educational life to get degrees. But what I found with the education system that we have in the United States and where we fall short is the incorporation of personal development, of social emotional learning. And truly, if that's something that we can start in our younger years, maybe in elementary school, teaching young people how to believe in themselves, teaching young people how to make decisions that's going to help them better overcome challenges, teaching young people how to have empathy for others. So these are the skill sets that we teach now, but what about starting at a younger age? And I think that's a big gap in our educational system that we have to incorporate in our academics. You know, it's not all about academics, because you can have somebody, all the academics in the world, but once they leave high school or once they leave college and face the real world, and if they don't have those skill sets, if they don't have belief in themselves, they're like, oh my, what do I do? And then you'll see people you see young people becoming depressed. You see young people dealing with anxiety. And, you know, we see numbers now where the suicide rate amongst young people are at an astronomical high rate now because of the pressure, because they not equipped with the things that they need to deal and to overcome. So I think even as teachers, as educators, we have to learn how to now incorporate that social emotional learning in our curriculum. So they're not only getting their academics, but they're also getting tools and strategies that they can use to develop their self-awareness, to develop right relationships, to develop empathy and social and relationship management skills. So that's one thing that I think that needs to happen.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And we'll get back to audience questions in a little bit. But, you know, I know that at the Cole Academy of Personal Growth, you recently launched a journal. Tell us about that journal, the name of it, and tell us about it.
Yeah, so I recently launched a journal in February called Adulting in My Purpose. And Adulting in My Purpose, it was birthed out of my own personal growth journey. So in that, it's a journal geared to millennials. And what it does, it's all about self-discovery, and it brings millennials through 7 key journeys of self-development, be it self-awareness, self-knowledge, self-reflection, self-knowledge, self-improvement, self-motivation. So it causes you to ask the right questions, normally questions that you probably wouldn't ask, to help you dig deep into yourself, to peel back the layers and truly find out who you are, whose you are. What are the belief systems that you have? What are the things that are blocking you from moving forward? What are the habits that you have? And truly making an assessment of yourself. And then in the chapter on self-planning, we actually get a plan. We actually put a plan together for your life, for your vision, to help you move forward. So it has been an amazing just kind of a combination of the things that I have gone through and that I put in the paper, because, to say, I want to help people, and I'm just one person. So doing that in a journal, now I can help and be able to help more people. And we have been from that journal, I launched a kind of like a course that comes along with it. And I have been taking groups of millennials through the course and through the journal. And it has been an amazing experience. I think we've had 4 groups so far. And just to see their transformation, just to see the aha moments, just to see the confidence, the level of confidence that they have, after it's all done, they're like, oh, I want to stay. I want to do more. So it's just a rewarding experience to know that, the life that you live is not just for you. There are people out there that you are called to. There are people out there that your experiences, that your testimony can help. And that's what adulting in my purpose is for me. It's my journey. It's my testimony that I'm giving to others to help them move forward in their lives. And Alex, this is amazing. Yeah. She's my number one supporter.
Yeah,
I love it.
Alex is my niece, and that's what I was going to say. See, folks, this journey that we're on is about supporting others and supporting friends, colleagues, other people that are in the same space that I'm in, and turning even your own relatives on to something that's going to help them. Right. And I know that Alexis loves it. So I'm happy that she's enjoying that. So where can they get Adulting in My Purpose?
So Adulting in My Purpose is available on Amazon.com. You can go to Amazon, look up Adulting in My Purpose, or search by Dr. Nicole Rankine and get it there.
Awesome. Awesome. So when is your next class coming up?
So actually, great story about how adulting in my purpose can lead to just amazing things. I recently launched my live session of Adulting in My Purpose. So we meet on Wednesdays at 8:30, Facebook Live on my business page, and we go through personal growth and just strategies. And the door has been open. There was somebody that I met years ago when I visited Kenya on a missions trip who saw that programming, and she is involved with the youth in Kenya. And so she reached out to me. She said, I saw your programming on Facebook, and I love what you're doing with millennials, and I want to partner with you because we can use that type of knowledge and that type of learning with our youth in Kenya. So we got our meetings together, and we are launching the next class of Adulting in My Purpose for Kenyan youth. So that is actually going to start in 3 of July. So that's going to be our next course. And then I'll come back to the United States and launch another course. So yeah, it has just been amazing to now, just when you're walking in your purpose, when you truly live by faith, that God can use you to do some amazing things. So that our next course will be July 3rd, where I'll be working with some youth from Kenya.
Well, look at that. That is just totally awesome that you're going to now take adulting in your purpose and bring it to Kenya. See, folks, this is all about the law of design, right? The law of design says to maximize growth in your life, in your business, you have to develop strategies. She put together a strategy for this journal. And look what it's done. Now, she's going to leave from Atlanta, Georgia, and she's going all the way over there to Kenya. You see, so she can be found. Adulting in your purpose can be found anywhere you want it to be found. Right.
That's
so
right.
That is so awesome. I'm so excited for you. So, you know, and I know you kind of touched on this, but I want you to speak directly in the camera to any millennial that's out there. And listening, why should they contact you?
Well, I believe that, you know, I have a heart for young people, right? I have a heart and true mission to help our young people get from where they are to where they desire to be. And not only that, I'm fun. I can relate, I understand, and I'm willing to serve. And we have a great time. So, you know, when you talk about personal development, leadership development, it should be fun. Life should be fun. You should be able to enjoy it. So that's something that I bring to the table when I do my workshops, when I do my trainings. We have a good time. We laugh, we cry, we push each other, we hold each other accountable, and we're just living life together. And being that mentor and being that coach is something that I love to do. So come on, join the movement. You know, you won't be disappointed, because there is help out there for you. There are people that love you, that people want to see you succeed, and you don't have to adult by yourself.
Yes, absolutely. And you know, the law of the ladder says character growth determines the height of your personal growth. So when you are looking to grow yourself, your character, you're trying to grow yourself, then you need to get around other people who are growing as well. Yes. So that is so awesome. So let's talk a little bit about, you know, we have a lot of challenges going on right now in the world. So what's the biggest challenge with leading through this present times and crisis that we're having?
Great question. I think the biggest challenge for me when everything kind of halted with my business, as a speaker, teacher, and coach, I did a lot of trainings, did a lot of speaking engagements. So coming into 2020, I was excited because my calendar was filled. I knew where I was going. I had plans every month. And then when COVID-19 hit, one by one, they just started coming off the calendar. And so the biggest challenge for me was finding that pivot point. You know, how was I going to pivot and still move forward? How was I going to not allow the challenges of the world and the external circumstances not to hinder my forward movement? So that was the biggest challenge of leading myself through this crisis, and starting to be creative and started to become more innovative in my thought process on things that I can do, just because, you know, externally things were going on, but what can I do? What things that I could do for myself to keep me moving forward? And that was the biggest challenge in the beginning. Because at first, like everybody else, you know, it's a shock. You're like, okay, well, what do I do now? You know, and I had that moment until I had to sit down and say, okay, Lord, how are we going to pivot? How are we going to make some moves? How are we going to keep going? Because you have called me to serve. So the service doesn't stop just because we're in a pandemic. And it even ramped up even more. There was so much more value to add. There was so much more people to help, because people were looking for leaders. People were looking for hope. People are looking for people that's going to inspire and give them a sense of purpose, even in this challenging time. So that was the biggest challenge for me, just pivoting and finding ways that I could continue to serve and continue to add value.
Awesome. So, I said earlier that Dr. Nick is special for several reasons. And one of the biggest reasons is because we are business partners.
Yeah.
So here's a good testimony. So, I met Nicole, Dr. Nick, in Costa Rica. We were with the John Maxwell team serving the government of Costa Rica, helping them with leadership transformation. And that's how we met. And from there, it led to me being an accountability partner for Nicole. And then that led to us just developing a good friendship and relationship, understanding each other, what our goals and dreams are and what our aspirations are, and which led to us being co-founders of the Black Entrepreneurs Institute. So, Nicole, for our audience, tell us, what is the Black Entrepreneurs Institute and how can someone find out more about it?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Black Entrepreneurs Institute is a partnership with 4 leaders, including myself, Cedrick, Angela Hooper-Minifield, and Damian Johnson, who we have come together to be a answer to a problem. What we realized is a lot of Black and minority businesses fall into statistics where they are not sustainable and they don't succeed. We know that there's disparities among the Black communities in a lot of areas, but specifically in business development. And we wanted to be that solution. And we know that the pitfalls and the challenges that we have gone through, we can share with others. Like I said before, your journey is just not for yourself, it's for other people. So we decided to come together and develop the Black Entrepreneurs Institute. So we're here to help Black and minority business owners who are stuck, who are, even if you are wanting to get into entrepreneurship and you don't have the systems in place, you don't know where to start, but Institute, we're here to help you elevate your mindset and your money to give you the strategies that you need. We got to say that because that's what we're here to do, elevate your mindset and your money. And give you the strategies that you need for business success and sustainability. And so if you are out there, if you are an entrepreneur, and you're wanting to go to the next level, or even if you have an idea and you want to be an entrepreneur and you want to be able to have that support to your transition, the Black Entrepreneurs is a place for you to come to get what you need. And the link is there. Come out. Visit us on our website. We have a boot camp that's coming up, which is amazing. We had our first cohort of graduates that completed the program, and just to see the tremendous success, just to see people who have started with little to come and gain their confidence and to do things, get out their comfort zone, to face their fears, to create their first program, to have their first sale, to do their first lives that they've been trying to do. So these are wins for business owners that we have seen in the Black Entrepreneurs Institute. And it's just an amazing journey. So again, if you're out there, if you're interested, visit us at our website. The link is in the chat and it's on the screen, and we are here to serve you and help to take you to the next level.
Absolutely. And the law of the rubber band says growth stops when you lose the tension between where you are and where you want to be. And folks, in the Black Entrepreneurs Institute, we are helping people stretch themselves, go bigger, better, faster with their business. So the link is right there on the screen. And so, hey, I heard that there's a show tonight.
Yes, there is at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. Again, this goes to when you step out of faith and God opens doors for you to do greater when you come together. So we had recently have the ability to partner with the empowered living community and to have a show. We got a show now. We have a show that is aired every Tuesday at 7:30 on their platform. So after we end tonight with Talk Live with Cedrick, go to the Empowered Living link that you see, and we will be talking more with the Black Entrepreneurs Show and get some more tips and strategies. We're going to be talking about laying a solid foundation and what are some of the things that you need to actually start your business, and giving you some tips and strategies on evaluating where you are in your business development and how you can focus and take yourself to the next level. So yeah, totally excited about that partnership and just truly being able to serve and impact more people in doing what we love to do.
Absolutely. Yeah. So 1.8 million, actually 1.9 million people on the
1.9
network. So we're excited to be a part of that community now and partnership. So hey, tell us, Dr. Nicole, how has the John Maxwell team helped you at the Cole Academy of Personal Growth?
Oh, great question. Well, the John Maxwell team, that's where it all started. Like I said, I spent so much time of my life developing my professional career, and I didn't understand the importance of personal development until I got to the John Maxwell team. I didn't really even know it was a thing. We develop ourselves professionally. We try to live a life where we are going and establishing ourselves in the world. We want to have financial stability. We want to have a good career, and live that quote unquote American dream, right? But nobody really tells you about personal development. You really don't learn about personal growth. And it wasn't until my joining the John Maxwell team that I really understood how much of an impact personal development, personal growth can have on your life in every area, not just professionally, in your relationships, in your social life, with your health, with your finances. It spans who you are. It grows who you are. It increases your awareness. So the John Maxwell, I owe, just the awareness of personal development to get me who I am. So now that's why I'm a personal development junkie. Mm-hmm. I'm a personal growth junkie. I'm all things personal growth because I realized and I now understand. And it's funny how I took time up, took 20 plus years to get a professional career, but then it took me a year or two just to understand my capacity by personal growth and development. But it happens. Your journey is your journey. So I am here. So I love the John Maxwell team. I love what it has given me and the ability to understand who I am, whose I am, understanding my strengths and understanding the need to continue the development and personal growth of myself and continue to, as we said, raise the lid so I can get to the big dreams that I have.
Sure, absolutely. So, hey, tell us something you may be reading. You talk about personal growth and development, something that you're reading that maybe we should be reading.
Well, actually, I when everything happened with the COVID-19 and the business just kind of really shut down, I remember the book that I read when I first started my entrepreneur journey, and it was called E-Myth. It's the E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber. And I said, I need to go back to that because that book is all about systems. That book is all about putting the right things in place for your business so your business could be sustainable over time. So I picked that book, and that's actually what I'm going back over just for my own development, because it talks about developing yourself. It talks about developing your business and making sure that you have what you need personally and then also in business wise. So that's something that I'm reading. And then I also am working through Put Your Dreams to the Test. And that's by John Maxwell. And that's something I like to just as a checklist for me to make sure that I'm on track with my goals and my dreams. That's just something that one of the books that I like to read for my own personal development. So those are two things that I'm reading right now.
All right, E-Myth and Put Your Dream to the Test. And the number one question in Put Your Dream to the Test is your dream your dream?
Your dream. That's
Mama's
it.
dream, daddy's dream, or somebody else's dream. It has to be yours.
Yes.
Awesome. Awesome. So if you could change one thing in the world, what would that be and why?
Wow. Just one?
You only get one.
I only get one? Okay.
One time.
Just one. I think, again, it will be, as I said, Dr. Nick loved the kids, but I'm always going to go back to our young people, and just changing the way we teach our young people. And like I said, bringing in that personal growth and development at a younger age, because we realize a lot of times, depending on the way a child is brought up, they may not get it at home. And they may not get the tools and all of the things that they need for success at home. So having a way to give them that personal growth, that personal development at a young age, because I can just imagine if we had a generation who had a high level of self-awareness, had a high level of self-reflection where they're constantly looking to improve themselves, had the ability to have empathy with others and understand other people and being able to connect with other people, what this world would look like, how different this world would be, how we can dismantle some of the systems that we have in place that are, causes inequality, that causes the disparities. If we can and break some of the generational curses that we see in life. So if I could change just one thing, that is something that I would change, starting with our young people and truly giving them the things that they need to develop a thought process that's different from our past, so we can see a future that's different from our past.
Awesome. Well, that's outstanding. So, folks, we're talking with Dr. Nicole Rankine with the Cole Academy of Personal Growth. And as you can hear in everything she talks about, she mentions the youth, specifically millennials. And I want you to, I want to point that out to you, because when you're at that point where you say, my child needs someone to talk to, someone that can understand her, someone, him or her, someone that can help them with their mindset, with personal growth, with their self-esteem, with their self-belief, all of those things. Reach out. Yeah. Dr. Nicole Rankine. So, Nicole, Dr. Nick, where can someone reach you?
Yeah, so I am on social media. I am on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. My handle is at Dr. Nicole Rankine, so you can find me there. My website is drnicolerankine.com. It's really simple. And also my email, nicole@drnicolerankine.com. So you can reach me. I'm out there. So you can DM, email me on social media. Absolutely. I would love to talk with you, love to share some of the programs that we have and be able to impact your young people.
Well, that is awesome. Well, we want to make sure that you guys get out there and reach out to Dr. Nicole Rankine. Again, Dr. Nicole Rankine of the Cole Academy of Personal Growth.
Yes.
Everybody takes some time off to just relax and chill out. So tell us, when you take the doctor off, what do you relax?
What does that look like? I don't know. My favorite pastime, okay. But no, my favorite pastime, those who know me, know I'm a dancer. I've been dancing actually since I was a teenager. I danced as a liturgical dancer. I think that's what we called it back then, but now they call them praise dance. But I was a dance minister, and that's one thing that I love to do. I took dance classes. So that is something that when I am not having my doctor hat on or doing any workshops, I love to dance. And then also I love to go into nature. I love taking hikes. I love climbing mountains, sitting by water, whether it be a river or a lake, and just taking in nature and truly just kind of just woo-sawing. So those are the two main things that I do. So I either dancing or I'm walking.
All right. So that means that she's burning energy, folks. She's getting out there and getting her heart rate up and all that type of stuff. So tell us.
That's right.
What's your favorite dessert?
Oh, hands down. Red velvet cake.
Red velvet cake. Okay.
It could be cake,
all right.
or it could be cupcakes, but either red velvet cake. Yes, that's the guilty pleasure.
All right. Okay. All right. So we all have a guilty pleasure of.
That's why I do so much walking. That's why I have to do so much walking. It's okay.
Wow. So hey, in the next probably 60, 90 days, hopefully we will be out of this pandemic. We don't know. We're just going to stay here. But why should people be encouraged? Even in time of crisis, why should employees, teams, individuals, why should they be encouraged?
Yeah, that's a good question. And when I think about why you should be encouraged, I think about the past. And when I listen to the news and the broadcast, you always hear these words: unprecedented times, unknown times. But that's not true. As a public health professional, and I guess that helps with my background, as a public health professional, we learn about different pandemics that have happened globally, that have happened in history, dating back to the 1900s and the millions of people and lives that were lost, and how the economy was devastated. But and I can even go back even for, when people know that I'm a woman of faith, then I can go back even to biblical times, even in biblical times where there was famine and there was devastation in the land. And you can go to the prophet Jeremiah and he's telling people to stay at home, and you see the social distance, even in biblical times. So knowing that we overcame those times, and we serve a God that was able to see us through then, people should be encouraged, because the same God that we serve now is the same God of yesterday, same God today, and the same God of tomorrow. So if he's able to get us through those times, he's able to get us through now. So we have to have the faith, we have to trust, and we have to know that there is greater purpose in this, that although we're going through some hard times, although we're going through the hardships, that there's still purpose, there is still hope, there is still a future that we have. And we've seen it. We've seen us come through this again. So we will get through this. We will move forward. But what we need to ask ourselves is, how will we be when it's all said and done? Will we be better, or will we be the same, or will we be worse? So we have to ask ourselves that question. How will we be, and what are we going to do to improve ourselves, so when this is all over, whenever that may be, that we're in a different place, that I don't think there's going to be a normal again. It's going to be our new norm. So what will your new norm look like? Who will you be in your new norm? So I say it's to be encouraged, because there is hope, and we know that we will get through this successfully.
Awesome. Well, I tell you what, that's a great message right there, to be encouraged, because that there is hope that things will change. And we know that as long as we stay positive here, it doesn't matter what's going on around us, right? We will come through this. I want to thank you very much, Dr. Nicole Rankine, for coming on here tonight. And again, this is Dr. Nicole Rankine from the Cole Academy of Personal Growth. Tell us one more time where we can find your Adulting in Your Purpose journal.
Adulting in My Purpose on Amazon.com.
All right. So you go to Amazon and you can order 5, 10, or 15 of those. Go ahead and do
Amazon.
that.
Or
Right
20 or 30. Go ahead. Yes.
now. Absolutely. So,
Absolutely.
hey guys, so we recently launched a program. It's called 1550 Marketing, where you can purchase up to 60-minute time slot to market your business to a new audience. You see, like tonight, folks, we talked about Dr. Nicole Rankine's business so that we can help get other people understanding the power that she's bringing to the world, and she can help your youth, your millennial, and maybe even you and your company, your organization. But we will dedicate a show to your business. If you are thinking, why would I do that? Because if you're not marketing to a new audience, you're destined to go out of business. The principles that I learned when I was responsible for a $1 billion product, that's billion with a B, folks, that's the same strategies we use to market your business. You can reach out to me any point in time. So tonight here at 6:30 Central Time, 7:30 Eastern Time, turn over to the Empowered Living Network, folks, and you can hear the Black Entrepreneurs Institute live show in like 4 minutes. We're going to go live. So we're going to run out of here at 7:30 Central. Come on back over here to Facebook and listen to Talk with TK. And you're going to get a lot about mindset. She's the owner of the Mindset 180 Academy. Always remember, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. Don't be on the menu. Good night, and we will see you a little bit later.